Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look through the GFS, GM, Ecmwf, then we'll have a look at the GFS ensembles, and then we'll have a look at these GFS temperature charts as we have got some warmer weather coming up, and then we'll have a look at the radar as we do have some rain moving in from the west, but it's likely to fizzle out over the next day or so, so it shouldn't progress too much further eastwards. Do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and do remember to follow me on Twitter as well. I'll be posting on there regularly as we go through this warmer period. So if we come and have a look at the latest GFS, you can see we've got high pressure building over and to the north of the country, but we've got this low pressure out in the Atlantic, which is sliding in, or at least trying to slide in, and it's bringing its weather fronts with it, and those are affecting parts of Ireland, parts of southwest, parts of Wales at this stage, with cloud and a bit of rain with that as well. However, over the next 24 hours, you can see that low never really makes any inroads, and the high pressure actually strengthens. And it blocks it away, and we don't see that weather front really making any progress. However, as we head into this weekend, you see that high pressure centres right at the top of the UK. Upper airs are not particularly warm, so temperatures this weekend will be relatively warm, but not very warm. I wouldn't say anything heatwave like, more likely just high teens, low 20s, feeling pleasant in the sunshine, but as soon as the sun goes down, it will probably get a little bit chilly. Beyond that, though, see that high pressure does slide out slowly to our east, and we do have these weather fronts and this area of low pressure trying to come in off the Atlantic. Now, what this does, it squeezes the isobars as a low forms further southwards as well, and it brings up a southerly wind. Now, if the jet stream and this high pressure moves a bit further eastwards, we'd come into the cooler air, more low pressure influenced, and that cold front would sweep through faster. But if it moves a bit further westwards, this high pressure is more in control, and we pull up those warm southerly winds like on this GFS run, and we do pull up some quite warm air, which could give mid-20s for the middle of next week. Sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week, before this low starts to slide in, potentially giving a thundery breakdown. Now, what happens with this low is the big sort of uncertainty at this stage. We'll have a look at the GFS ensembles later, and you can see the big spread on them as some ensemble members have this low pressure moving through, cold front sweeping through, cooler air coming in. Others have it blocked out by this high pressure, which would keep us warm and dry. But on this latest GFS, the low does eventually sweep through, and you can see we replace that higher pressure with lower pressure, and you can see it's not particularly deep low, but it's an upper troughs, and it's bringing in some cooler air as well. Won't be very cold or anything, just maybe maybe 5 degrees or so cooler, maybe around mid to high teens, with showers and thunderstorms. As we head towards the 10-day time frame, it's still quite uncertain, but generally it does look like high pressure is going to build back in again, centred over the top of the UK. Nothing too warm underneath it, so I'm not expecting massive temperature spikes, but pleasant conditions with that. And it does look like it's certainly going to be pretty dry and no sort of prolonged rainfall at this stage. Could be some little convective systems, occluded fronts, convergence zones, bringing thunderstorms, but that's something we really can't pin down on the pressure and temperature charts at this range. But we really are looking at that, how that weather front moves through, that cold front, or if it does move through, sort of towards the middle of next week, as that will decide whether we do go cooler and a bit more unsettled, or we do remain dry and warm. If we now have a look at the GEM, see how that compares, you can see again, very similar pattern. High pressure does build over the top of the country, starts to bring up southerly winds, and if we have a look at the upper airs, you can see quite warm air starts to get further northwards, and you can see on the GEM, no real low pressure moves in, perhaps until next weekend, where the low starts to try and slide in. Never really makes too many inroads, perhaps weather fronts reaching Ireland and parts of western areas, and bringing lift for potential thunderstorms. So you can still see in the east, still very warm and potentially muggy. So we'll actually have a look at the temperature for this as well in a minute. If we have a look at the Ecmwf, you can see again, very similar pattern over the next few days. As we head into the middle of next week, you can see we're a bit more low pressure dominated on the Ecmwf. You can see those weather fronts are a bit further close to UK. We do pull up that southerly wind, but it does get replaced by a low. However, this low is developing within sort of the warmer air. So it's not coming off the Atlantic, so it's introducing low pressure, but within warmer air, and that could be a recipe for big thunderstorms. You can see wrapping around sort of the 10 or 12 degree isotherm, which is going to bring quite warm, humid air up from the south. So it could be some big thunderstorms in Ecmwf, so interesting to see with that. If we have a look at the GFS ensembles, you can see how temperatures at the moment are around average and will slowly rise to around 10 degrees at 850 HPA, maybe higher, maybe a tad lower, by sort of Tuesday, Wednesday next week, as we do see that warmer air come up from the south. Then we do have the split. We have maybe 5 to 10 ensemble members dropping back below average as that cold front comes in off the Atlantic. Others remain warm and dry, and could be remaining warm and dry for the foreseeable future, as the ensembles are trending above average pretty much for the whole run and relatively dry. All of these rainfall spikes will be for the cooler ensemble members and for when they do bring in those low pressure systems. If we do have a look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see the averages are around 20 degrees, maybe a tad warmer. But you can see some of the lower ensemble members going only 15 or 16 degrees as the cold air comes in from the west. But others are going maybe 25, 26, 27 or even higher as we do keep up those southerly winds. So again, the ensemble members aren't great at getting the exact temperatures, but it's probably going to be within a couple of degrees or so of that. So mid to high 20s is possible potentially next week and into next weekend. Even this weekend we could be seeing low 20s. So could be seeing some very nice and fine conditions. So if we have a look at the GFS temperatures, now if you look at the GFS midday run, which we did look at, it was generally a cooler member, especially in the longer term. So if we run through, you can see over the weekend, perhaps 18, 19 degrees. On Sunday, again, maybe 18, 19 degrees, maybe even 20 degrees in a few spots, maybe even 21 degrees or so. Monday, again, quite warm, perhaps even warmer, maybe 20, 22, 23 degrees. And then as we head into Tuesday, again, more widespread, sort of 20 degrees or so, hovering around there, maybe a few degrees warmer or a few degrees cooler on the coast. Wednesday, again, a very warm day, 24, maybe 25 degrees even with that. But as we head into Thursday, because he's still warm in the east, but turning a bit more cooler and fresher in the west. And as we head through Friday, again, those temperatures are starting to drop slightly as we do have some cooler air coming in from the west. So the GFS does go cooler a lot faster than the other ensemble members and the GM did. And you can see temperatures aren't very low, but they're only around 16, 17 degrees instead of maybe 22, 23 degrees. Feeling quite pleasant out there. So if we do have a look at the GM, if I quickly go to the GM, we have a look at UK temperatures. If we move through, you can see over sort of Friday, we're going to be seeing 18, 19 degrees perhaps. Saturday, perhaps 22, 21 degrees widely, really. So it's very quite differing temperatures for even this weekend. So just shows you how subtle changes in the atmosphere can really change the ground level temperatures. Sunday again, widespread 20 degrees. Looking most areas could be seeing high teens, maybe even low 20s there. So very pleasant indeed. And then into Monday, again, another warm day. Very warm there. Maybe even 24, 25 degrees, or even warmer in a few positions. So GM really is bringing up some warmer air from the south. Much warmer than the GFS by a few degrees, in fact. It's a Tuesday, and you can see again, 22, maybe 23 degrees at 9 a.m. in the morning. So feeling really quite muggy there, as we do have a build in temperatures. And maybe even 28 degrees on the GM, which is exceptional considering how cool it's been recently. That's next Tuesday. And I would suspect Wednesday could be even warmer. Maybe 29 degrees on Wednesday and even 26, 27 degrees quite widely into the middle of next week. So very warm. But could be seeing our first 30 degrees with this GM run. If we head into Thursday, again, pretty warm day, but not quite as warm as we do start to have more influence of low pressure, but still 27, 28 degrees. And as we head into Friday, again, very warm day, 26, 27 degrees, but just slightly cooler as we do have probably more cloud and some precipitation, thunderstorms moving in. But the GM is looking very warm indeed. I do suspect it may be on the warmer end of the ensemble members, but just shows you we could be going into quite a prolonged and decent sort of heat wave. So we're really going to have to keep an eye on how this sort of develops over the next few days. Definitely does look like probably Monday to Wednesday next week is going to be fine. very pleasant, maybe seeing highs of around 25 degrees, especially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Beyond that is when the uncertainty comes in, and as you see with GM, we could be going very sustained in those high temperatures. And what you do get sometimes in the summer when we do see warmer temperatures is those warmer temperatures sort of build on each other. Each day they build on by a degree or so as the air sort of stagnates and heats itself up. If the sun heats up during the day and it doesn't quite cool overnight, and it just really builds every single day. So that's why we're sort of seeing on that GM run getting up to 28, 29 degrees by sort of the end of next week, as that heat really, that surface heat really starts to build. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. So finally, we'll have a look at the live radar, and if we just quickly refresh it, you can see we do have a weather front out in across Ireland, affecting parts of southwestern areas, Wales, maybe even getting parts of Scotland. It is going to slowly fizzle out over the next sort of 12 to 24 hours or so, and it probably will not make too much inroads further eastwards. Could chuck some cloud in and maybe some drizzle or so further eastwards, but at this stage I do expect it to fizzle out quite quickly. And even if we do have a look at the future cast on the Weather Channel, if we quickly run it through, even tonight, making very slow progress eastwards, and it's starting to fizzle out on its eastern edge and really not make too much progress as it's coming up against the high pressure. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope everyone's looking forward to seeing some, finally seeing some warmer conditions and potentially even a heat wave. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you again for another video soon.